Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Like WD-40 for your radio dial, it's the AOO Show on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5 FM, streaming on irlonestar.com and available wherever you get your podcast from. I am Andrew, broadcasting next to the guy who doesn't have a skincare routine. It's Dick.
Nope.
I don't throw the bird, Schisler.
Oh.
You survived. You made it. You survived the snowstorm.
I did.
Got your jacket. You're all bundled up like you're in a snowstorm,
Well,
man.
you know, it's funny. Before I came here, I was at the bowling alley. I had a burst pipe. And
Really?
I was asked to...
The lack of insulation.
I was asked to host the seniors bowling no taps tournament every Wednesday. It happens every Wednesday, but it just happened like, hey, can you come in to help out because we got burst pipe, blah, 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 blah. And they didn't have the heat on when I got there, and I haven't taken my jacket off. I was freezing my butt off in there. And yeah, guess what happened today though?
I don't know.
I
bet you're going to tell me though.
I might do the senior no taps thing every Wednesday.
Oh,
because
how riveting!
A woman came up to me and said I had the most beautiful smile in the whole alley.
And now y'all are dating.
Now my confidence boost went way up, and I still got it. I think she was 85.
Doesn't matter.
But she can still see clearly, right?
Right, yeah.
And her judgment is
impeccable.
Yeah, she's not taking any medication. So she said that on her own free will. So that was nice.
Yeah.
But
You would have thought the world was ending, though, with the weather that we had the previous week or earlier this week.
It wasn't that bad.
Which is why we did not release a show this Wednesday. We are one day late, so we apologize to our onesie fan base out there. How will you make it one extra day without your show?
Well, it was worth it because we have a special guest today that's joining us as a co-host.
We do.
We're going to be talking food and all that kind of stuff. And I've been wanting to get this guy in the studio for so long. And you know this because I texted you right when he came in on another show. And I didn't know he was going to be on the show because we have several other shows here at Lone Star. And I look at Margie and I was like, how the hell did you get this guy in? And we've been asking him for so long to come in. And she goes, oh, yeah, I'm Margie Taylor. And Taylor has PR. I'm like, okay, I guess I get it. You got clout. I get it. But I'm so glad we got him in. I'm glad you made it safely back from Chicago.
I did, yeah, man. I got to ride the subway while I was there, which is also kind of fun. I don't know if you've ever ridden the subway in Chicago. And for the most part, it's everyday people going about their day-to-day business. But I'm not sure what it is about the subway that makes someone think, this is a pretty good place to take a leak. Because it did have a big smell of urine. And I wondered why or how often they clean those carts. It seemed to me that it was not very often. How hard would it be to run a bleach mop through that thing once in a while? I don't know, but apparently pretty difficult because it was stinky. But Chicago, cool, man. Streets were fairly clean. People were nice.
Did you get a Chicago dog?
I did, actually.
Yeah.
I had to. And deep dish pizza, which, it's okay. I'm here to report it.
Did you go to a Blackhawks game?
No, we did not.
That's stupid. Why would you not go to a Blackhawks game?
I didn't have enough time. I had pizza from two places, and it was two of the real iconic places there. And I can't think of the names at the moment, but so I guess I shouldn't have even said
really
anything.
iconic. I love it. Thank you for coming prepared.
Anyways, let's get over to our guest because he is on.
I'm not done talking about my week. I'm not done talking about.
I guess you have another bowling alley story to tell or something.
Oh, I just thought you'd be interested in a lady hitting on me, and I just still got it. It's nice to tell your friends like, "Hey guys, don't worry about me. I'm good," especially for the age group of 85 and above. And I'm just kidding. So let's introduce our guest.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, formerly Petty Eddie of Petty Eddie Eats. Welcome, bud.
What's up, guys? I'm glad to be on the show. And to answer your question, it
Yes.
was probably Uno's and Giordano's.
Giordano's. That's it. It was Giordano's, and then it was
This guy knows his food.
and then it was Luminati's.
Oh, Illuminati. Okay.
Yeah, and I have to admit the Luminati's pizza
better.
was significantly better. It tasted as though the first one, what did you call it?
Giordano's.
Giordano's.
Yeah.
wasn't quite cooked enough. And those things take like 50
45
minutes to cook, and it still just didn't taste right. But the Illuminati's was
Did you tell
spot
him?
on. No, I didn't tell him.
Because I think Eddie knows how to tell people your food sucks. So you got to build up that confidence and tell them like, hey, this isn't cooked enough. You know, that's what.
But the thing is, I don't know enough about deep dish pizza to know that it wasn't cooked until I tried the other one. I went, this one tastes better.
Pizza is such a preference. I mean, I didn't really realize that until I started watching Portnoy and all the shows and Barstool and One Bites. I mean, then I'm like, man, this man's eating like 500 pizzas. So it's like,
Are you a fan
gotta
of the Chicago style pizza? Are you a fan of it?
I mean, I grew up on it.
Okay.
I love it. Yeah.
All right. Because it is kind of divisive, right? Because it's so different. I mean, it's so thick and soupy. It's like a pie.
They call it
basically.
lasagna pizza or something.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I got a story for you about uncooked food. I went to Mr. Taco. Mr. Taco is my favorite taco tequila joint. And we tried something different. We got like jumbo shrimp wrapped, whatever. And what I like to do with my jumbo shrimp, bacon, whatever, I cut it up and put it in a taco with the little mixes of everything. Well, for like by chance, the first shrimp I grabbed and I cut up, I was like, oh, this isn't even cooked. And I was like, they didn't cook it. Like it was completely raw. And I was like, that's not normal for these guys. They know us here. And then every other shrimp was cooked, but that one. And I was talking to my friend. I go, what are the odds?
Yeah, what are they?
Like of like the 12 shrimp, everything's cooked perfectly, but this one is raw.
Did you swell up like Will Smith in that Hitched movie?
Well, I didn't eat it. I didn't. I didn't.
Darn it! I was hoping that's what you were going to say.
But I felt really
so then your
bad.
face was all swollen. You had to take a Benadryl.
But since it was the first one, I told the server, I was like, hey, this is raw. Like, I'm pretty sure it's raw. I'm not trying to complain, but like this looks
You
raw
bit
to
into
you.
it? That's how you
No,
forgot it?
I cut it up first to make the
Okay,
taco.
See, I would have been.
See,
I
I-
would have been done because I would already been into
Well,
it.
that's what I'm saying. What are the odds of me? Because of course my buddy just eats his, you know. But I like making little tacos, and I was like, and I didn't want to complain, but he's like, oh, we'll get you a fresh plate, and then we started cutting the other ones. Everything was fine, so we told the guy, don't worry about another plate. Everything else is fine. But of course they brought us another one, and I'm like, well, there's no way we're gonna eat all this, and now it's too much food. Now I feel bad. This is my favorite joint. I don't want to put it out of business.
Welcome to my world.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
that's
that's actually where I wanted to lead into because I discovered you through I Love Conroe, the Facebook group page, and that page is one of the best pages I've ever followed. The reason social media exists is because of I Love Conroe. I love following it, and you find the most unique places I never knew were really in Conroe, and you also talk about the unique things they make. And you probably have so much experience dealing with the service industry. Like one way, I know you worked in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you also eat it all the time.
Yeah.
And that's why I love having him in because we're going to go at it, Andrew. We're going to talk about like what's the red flag going in where the service is just crappy but there's also a point where you feel sympathy. Like when you go to a place and there's two people working because it snowed in and like no one else claimed they could drive in, but there's unfortunately two people there and like you guess you got to keep it open. So to do everything.
No, absolutely.
So yeah, let's talk about what was your first place you ate and you go, I want to review this. I want to go on social media and talk about it.
Man, that's
probably a hard question.
No, it's not a hard question. It's a question I get asked all the time. So
Okay, let's change it up then. I don't want to scratch that question. I don't want to.
well, no. It's a good segue, I guess. So obviously, if y'all don't know that I have a little medical condition, so I was in the hospital, and that's how I came up with the idea the day after my surgery was, man, I need something to get my mind off stuff while I'm going to be laying around, doing whatever. So I had previously eaten at State Fair over in Hughes Landing, and I had a real good picture because I'm obviously big into the food photography thing. So
yeah, somehow you make it look so much better than what mine looks like.
I try my best. I try not to use a lot of filters, but I'm good at like kind of editing to my, to a certain, I guess what the audience likes to see. So,
So it's all fake?
No, it's not.
All the food's fake?
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I posted a picture of, I think it was like their brunch board at State Fair. So, and I was like, I want to start going around Montgomery County, reviewing their best spots, things like that. So, once I kind of got healed up after a couple of weeks, I started doing donuts, which is the most random thing.
Right. That's what I remember seeing you from. The very first time I ran across your social media page, you were holding donuts and reviewing donuts.
Yeah.
And I didn't think much of it. And maybe a few months, this probably was back in May of 2023. And somewhere around the middle of the summer, I looked at your page again and you'd had blown up. You had expanded significantly far past just doing donuts, and your following had blown up. I was like, man, this guy is on a roll. And so you from donuts just sort of said, I'm going to expand this.
Full disclosure, Andrew wanted you on for your social media following. I wanted you on because we could talk food. Sorry, Andrew, we know you're shallow. Okay, and I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I mean, Andrew's really pumped about getting. He's like, we gotta get him on. We gotta get him on because he's always doing cool stuff. And I'm like, yeah, he's always doing. How are you always doing cool stuff?
What do you mean? No, I mean no. So I mean to
I'm
your
on
point,
your Instagram right now, and I'm like, man, you're doing some cool stuff.
You know, I'm trying my best, man. You know, when I started doing the whole food review thing, it's basically I wanted to have something that's eye pops everybody. So you know, I want to be different than most food bloggers. You can only be so much different than most food bloggers out there. So I wanted to be different in our area. So that was my big thing is food photography, making sure something the audience like to see. So
I feel like you're the first food blogger in Conroe.
probably in Conroe, but in Montgomery County, there's quite a few. There's Nick Local Eats. There's Food Happening. There's Subdo Foodie. There's probably
We don't want them on here. We got the best one.
Hey, I'm trying my best, man.
Well, that's one thing I will make note of. All your posts are very positive. And you know what's funny about that is I think every restaurant does have a positive angle to it. I know that sounds
absolutely.
silly, but there's always something like, because people love to complain. And that's why I'm friends with Andrew. And,
You know, I did do that for a
I
for a
complain to
while
Andrew,
there.
that's
I
what-
tried
Oh, yeah,
to
right,
be
that's it.
honest about my reviews, but people were like, we don't like that. So, you know, I try to dial back. And I understand some smaller places that may not have a lot of business and things like that, so I don't want to be too critical.
Yeah,
of
one
things
bad
like that.
review could do them in.
And I'm not saying that I have that effect, but if there are people looking at my page and they may, hey, let me go see what, you know, Petty
well, it's
Eddie
like a
tastes
Yelp thing. Everyone
Yeah,
goes, let's
exactly.
see what the 1 stars are. And then they're ridiculous. Like, oh, the front door didn't open all the way and it hit me in the face. This place is terrible. Now I have a bruise on my head. It's the worst food ever. I'm like,
Absolutely. And
I mean,
so,
you right, Andrew?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Have you ever had to do a review on something and you knew this food was going to tear you up? It was not going to agree with you.
That's like every
But you
food I
thought-
eat.
no,
I'm going to go and do it anyways because it's going to be good. Has that ever happened?
Not, you know, I have a tough stomach. I mean, you know, all things considering, but so not really. I probably have been to like 1 or 2 spots where it came out and I'm like, yeah, this isn't it.
I'm going to regret this, but I'm going in anyways.
Yeah, and you know, and I just try to make the most of it. But those are the reviews I hate to really, you know, put up things like that. So, you know.
Well, I will say if you follow, I'm going to put links to his Facebook and Instagram, so make sure to give him a follow. Not a lot of salads on your photos.
No, absolutely not. I think Noodle Bar might be the only salad that I put on there.
Not a lot of salads.
That reminds me though, what would be your favorite raw food? Have you ever thought about that?
Like
Right?
like raw shrimp at
Raw,
Mr.
yes.
Gaga?
Well, that's kind of what got me thinking about it. And to me, and I'll give you a second. I'll give you my answer. I think my favorite raw food is the cucumber. Very versatile, but also they make pickles. You know, come on, that's raw.
Is it
And
considered
I think-
raw after making it in a pickle?
Yeah, I mean it's not cooked, right? It's still raw. And
It's
then
treated.
honorable mention to lettuce and spinach. I think
Caviar.
is that
Yeah,
is that raw?
yeah, right, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, there you go. So I don't know if maybe that's something you can expand into.
Peanut
We're gonna
butter
do a
jelly's pretty
raw
It is pretty
food
raw.
Pretty
segment.
raw.
It is pretty raw.
I'm not a sushi guy, so
I love sushi.
Okay. Well, there you go. Maybe then that's your answer. Sushi, right?
I mean, I used to live in Missouri, so I mean, I used to eat deer right off the thing, man. So I mean,
Wait.
I've tried it raw before. I've done all that. So,
Hold on. Raw deer meat?
yeah,
No, that's not right.
it's not at all. But you know, I like to try everything once. So why not?
Is that a thing in Missouri? Because I've
Missouri,
never heard of
it's a
this.
The heart, dude, when you make a kill.
That is true, though. Some people believe in that. Again, I'm not a hunter like that, but you know.
Wait, hold on now.
Yeah.
Explain yourself.
You never heard
Hunters
that?
will go and eat the heart.
The first kill.
The first
your first kill ever.
first kill ever. I mean, maybe smear the blood on your face or something. Eat the heart.
Not the whole thing, unless
man.
you're like really crazy about
No,
it.
I think that's one of those tricks that seasoned hunters play on young hunters. Like, you know, the rule is you got to eat the heart.
Wasn't that in
And little
Dances
Dick's
with
like,
Wolves?
okie dokie.
Was it Dances with Wolves that did it?
No, I'm like, oh my God, you're not actually supposed to do it.
Or was that the Temple of Doom with Indiana Jones?
Both, right? Or was that alien when the thing came out of his chest? I don't know, man.
I love it. Okay, but like I love seeing your pictures and especially notifying of new restaurants and stuff. So what's your main thing to sniff out new restaurants? Is it more of word of mouth probably by now?
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you started out, you're probably like, did you just go to Google and hopefully they're there?
No, I just kind of went around and just was looking at when I would drive by random spots. Hey, let me go try it out, or I would see something on the I Love Conroe page, things
Yeah.
like that. So I mean, to be honest, the I Love Conroe page was a big like kickoff for me. So kind of how I built up things. So like I would see a lot of spots, or people would tag me in
Yeah.
spots on there. So that's honestly how I started. Most of this was being tagged like in a bunch of spots. So I think I put a post up on I Love Conroe and said, hey, I want to be the Montgomery County food blogger, something like that. So yeah, spots, tag them for me. So,
Yeah, and then that gives you ideas of where to try too, right?
On my morning show, we would review tacos around Conroe. And you'd be surprised on Google Maps how many taco joints there are in the city limits and how many are closed because they never removed their
exactly.
tags and stuff.
Oh wow, yeah.
And then there's a couple that are really hard to find, and you're like, oh, is that the truck? Is that
Yeah,
F-150 with the thing on the back? Like, that's a taco joint?
East 105 is filled with a bunch of them. I tell you that.
Oh,
right
yeah.
now. Oh, they're filled with a bunch. Either not on Google or anything. You just drive by and pull up. So.
Tacos are my favorite food, and that's why we chose to do breakfast tacos. It was great.
Who'd you pick?
We just picked we just went to different ones
Who's your
all the time.
favorite?
I mean, there's my favorite. Let's see. I don't think it's open anymore. That's why I forgot it. Let me give me. I'll talk amongst Joe.
Well, it's time to get serious
Yeah,
now.
no, come on.
This time of year means one thing and one thing only: Girl Scout cookies. You a fan of Girl Scout cookies?
I am probably not as obsessive as most people are, but I love the peanut butter and I love the lemonade. I think the lemonade's kind of a newer addition, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't.
I think so. I mean, I'm not. Yeah.
So
It was Taqueria Rosie.
Oh, no, they're still open. They're incredible, by the way.
Yeah, that place. Well, I went over there because it's right next to like a junkyard.
Yeah.
And I think they were moving. They moved buildings or something. Because ever since we had the breakfast tacos, I was like, this place is really, really
Oh,
good.
yeah, no, they're definitely still open.
And when I went by there, and like they moved the building. They moved like from a building to a.
That's
You know what I'm talking
That
about?
makes it- yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
that
so I
makes
was like,
sense.
"What's going on here?" Are they like, "Is it part of the junkyard, or is this what's happening here?" But yeah, if you haven't gone there,
It's Conroe thing.
Yeah,
man, that
it's
area.
Conroe.
It's Conroe thing.
but no, it's so good, man. Like
Nice.
that was the best one. I remember because when we got there, I was like, "This isn't gonna be good, is
But
it?"
their regular tacos are incredible.
See, I did.
They made my top 10 list, I believe. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah, no, they're good.
But sorry to interrupt your.
no, that's fine. That's fine. I didn't know you were going to find it that fast. So I would have to tell you that my favorite Girl Scout cookie was a dulce de leche cookie that they had for a limited time, and I had to look it up because I'm like, I know I'm not making this up. But every time I go to the Kroger in these past several years, you got the dulce de leche, and they look at me like I'm crazy, like I got two heads. Well, they ran from 2009 to 2014, and they were only in certain areas. I guess they didn't do them all the way nationwide. But when I lived up in the DFW area, they had them in that area, and they were fantastic. But however, they were a victim of the economy and got dismissed in 2014. So I guess that means they didn't sell enough.
They didn't sell enough. Yeah, but that's what
Oh, I thought
Victim
I
of
thought
the economy.
Another major world event happened. I didn't
Yeah,
know about
I was
it.
thinking
I
about
was
like 2014. Was it Bowler or something?
No, apparently they had some other popular discontinued cookies. They had Upside Downs that were discontinued in 1999. All
Yeah,
right.
I didn't know they had limited edition cookies.
I know. We got Cinnaspins 2008 prepackaged 100-calorie snack bags. Reached a popularity in the
probably goes
early
in a
2000s.
bag, not in a box.
The Dulce de Leche, and then, of course, the Savannah Smiles. I do remember those, 2011 to 2019. There's like some limited edition. I wonder if you have one that's like unopened from the 90s. It's worth something.
There's a guy that does that on YouTube.
Yeah.
LA Beast. He goes and he eats like, or he'll drink like soda from like 92. He had Heisey, the Echo Cooler one
Yeah.
from Ghostbusters. He like drank one of those from like way
Dude,
back.
I got a better one for you.
Here's some MREs from World War II.
He's eating those. He's eating those.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding you.
There's a legit YouTube channel about. It's not the same guy, but
Is it an older
he does MREs, and I watched him do an MRE from like, I think it was 1902
Oh,
or something
my
like
God.
that. It was like canned bread and all that kind of stuff. And
There's no way that possibly tastes good.
he's not like trying to taste it for flavor. He's just shows
Oh, it's
you.
shock value. I'm going to eat something that's over 100 years old.
It's actually educational the way he does it. It's like, this is how they made it back then. This is the whole purpose.
It is
why
a
they
cool
did.
process.
Okay.
And he goes into and he does MREs from all over the world and all over the time periods. So it's like the earliest MREs.
But he has to at least give some sort of review on it, like, this tastes like chalk, or
Yeah.
this
His
tastes
point-
pretty good.
His taste buds got to be chalked. I mean,
You would
it
think.
had to be
Yeah,
something.
there's no way.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What'd you say his name was?
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, he has,
Okay.
the guy I'm talking about, but I think he's an older fellow. The guy he's talking about, but this guy I'm talking about, his name is LA Beast, and he just does like hot challenges or drinks or eats nasty things like that.
You ever done the one chip challenge? This guy over here's done it like twice. But he looks like the kind of guy who would do it.
Man, I can't.
No, me
All
neither.
right,
That's
his
dumb. You're like, no,
is-
these precious taste buds are my
This-
livelihood. I can't
Literally.
destroy them.
This guy's name is Steve 1989,
Okay.
and I mean I could show you some of the videos if you really wanted me to.
Yeah, you can put links to them.
No, I'll put it on the TV I'm gonna put it on for people to look at.
All right.
'Cause, it's really interesting because this is how Eddie's gonna be doing his food reviews right here.
Yeah, that's the next step is trying to.
This
get
is
to
what he
more
does.
Video food blogging. I
Okay.
guess.
Right here.
All
This,
right.
this is what he's gonna do.
Oh, that's an MRE then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
yeah,
he
absolutely.
takes them apart, talks about them, and then he eats them, and he talks about like the different because they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then he opens all the stuff. And he's
Oh my
just-
God, that seems like a really painful process to open that
That's what I'm
can.
saying. Imagine just cutting your whole thumb.
Yeah, so I was thinking, is it
This
really
is-
worth losing
Wait.
a pinky?
It's a 1969 Vietnam meal combat individual.
Oh,
sea
69 was a
ration.
great year, man.
Spaghetti. This is spaghetti that he's doing.
I heard the 67 year model was a little better,
Yeah.
but that's all right.
It's gonna be. It looks so gross.
Oh yeah,
But
interesting.
That's what they ate. But see, Eddie did the smart thing. He's eating good food that is
Yeah.
freshly cooked.
Yeah.
And I gotta ask, when you walk into restaurants, are they seeing now going, "Oh man, we better make this good"? Because, or do you try to do the surprise? Because when we did the taco reviews, we wouldn't even tell them we were coming.
Yeah.
We would just have cameras and be like, "We're gonna sit over here and eat your food," after we ordered it.
Well, for the most part, I try to, if I know it's going to be a big review for me, myself, and that's usually just at barbecue joints, obviously, I'll kind of give them a heads up and say, hey, I'm going to come by. That way I don't want to blindside them. They don't have enough because they run out quick. So, but for some spots, I just
That
kinda
and
go.
that then they can like clap when you walk in the door and everything, right? You're like, oh, hey, thank you
You know,
guys.
I'm still surprised. No, but honestly, I went to Firecraft Barbecue this past weekend, and David and his daughter Savannah, they were more than excited that I was in there. His daughter, was like,
Awesome.
I'm a big fan of yours.
That's
yada,
great.
yada. So I mean, stuff like that's very humbling. So I mean,
I know.
I don't expect it.
I saw you posted something about getting recognized in HEB a few times. That's got to be cool.
As much as I'm in there, I'm like, I don't know if it's from my page or is it from because I'm in here all the time.
Sure, sure.
But I do get a lot of people like, "Are you Petty Eddie?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh my god, I love
That's
your
right, I
stuff."
am. Thanks for noticing. Maybe it's the fact that you're wearing.
See, Andrew wants that.
No,
He
no.
wants to be recognized. So
This
if
guy's so
see-
full of it, man.
If you
I already
see
get
Andrew,
that. I already get that. So I don't know.
give him a big hug and just apologize to him. Just be like, "I'm so sorry."
Just cover all your bases.
Yeah, just like
Yeah,
to
right.
say, "I'm so
Whatever's
sorry."
bothering you, I can tell. Here, you need a hug. Yeah. Anyways, have you ever eaten anything, Eddie, and thought, this is good, and then like maybe 2 days later, you're watching the news and you hear there's a recall on that?
You
You're
know,
like, oh no.
well, no, that's what happens when you work in the food industry. So I mean, that's happened. I mean, obviously, a couple of times when I've worked in the.
Yeah.
I was a food service director, so for like almost 10 years. So I mean,
Dang, we just served 100 of those.
well, no, because these are the. I mean, hopefully that hasn't happened in my. Not that I know, but it has. We've gotten notices and things like that. Pull them off the shelves, things like that. So,
That's when you normally just go tear them up.
but it's usually like lettuce and things like that. That's
Always lettuce.
I don't know.
What's wrong with lettuce?
I don't bother with it.
You wouldn't think that it would always get salmonella or E. coli, but it does. It's the weirdest thing. I think that happened to me a few years ago with Capri Suns. There was like a certain flavor.
Was there a
Did I
dog
just hear a
bark?
dog bark?
Yeah, okay.
That was weird.
Hold on,
Anyways,
so it wasn't your phone?
I know my phone's turned off, but I did hear a dog bark.
Yeah.
But I think it was certain flavors, and they had like serial numbers in between these certain numbers, and I thought, what are the chances? And I open up the pantry and open them and look, and these are my daughter's Capri Suns, and I'll be damned, I'm right in the middle of that, and that's the flavor. And I thought, it's all good. As I popped the top on another one. No, I didn't do that. I did throw them out. It's my daughter's Capri Suns, but I was just wondering if that had ever happened to you. You're like, oh,
Nah,
man.
not really at a restaurant.
I mean, if you're eating a lot, well, not even necessarily at a restaurant, just like a product of some sort. Like I said, like a Capri Sun.
No, not that I can think of, like off the top of the head, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that's good. You're keeping it on the straight and narrow then.
yeah, I try my best.
What about bag cereals, man? You know what I'm talking about? Like the big
yeah,
ones that your
yeah,
parents
yeah,
used to
yeah,
get you,
yeah.
and they used to pass it off as like, no, this is the real
knockoff,
stuff.
Yeah. Let me.
You got it. You need to do a whole thing on like best bag cereals.
That's funny you say
The
that.
Malto meal or whatever.
I got a bag of the HEB brand, like Captain Crunch,
Yeah.
like 2 days ago.
Is it called like Crunchy Captain? They always like flip the words around a little bit.
Yeah, it's like King Crunch.
King
maybe I don't know. I think it's something like that. I could
Yeah.
be lying. Or Fruit Crunch. Fruit Crunch is what
There
it's
you
called. Man, terrible. The moment my milk hit the cereal, it got soggy. I'm like, oh, throw the whole bowl away.
Okay. Are you the type then that has to have like super crunchy cereal, or because I like to let it sit for a little bit.
Oh, no way.
It's got to be just a little
No,
bit soft. I don't like to cut the roof
Let
of
me
my
ask you
mouth with my
this.
Fruit Loops, man.
Do you think that, like, as a child growing up, that's when you kind of your first experience of realizing, oh, there's brands that are better than other brands?
It's with cereal.
And I wonder if it's
Absolutely.
cereal, like the first encounter, you're like, oh man, Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the stuff.
Well-
but then the other one is like, this isn't the stuff.
Think about it. There was more variety for us back then. I think.
I haven't had cereal in 20 plus years. So I have no
But
idea.
when you were younger, there were so many different types of cereal back then. I mean, obviously some.
We existed because of cereal.
Yeah.
I mean,
I remember Reese's Pieces peanut butter cup cereal was the bomb.
yeah.
It's incredible.
And sitting down and reading the back of the box was like a rite of passage. I mean, that's what we used to do before
No, I mean,
smartphones and everything, and set it down and shovel it in and read the back of the box. Try and make sure Count Chocula can get from the home all the way to the end through the maze. I mean,
Exactly. All the prizes
yes.
in the box, things like that.
Prize in the box.
I mean,
but yeah, Malto Meal, not
That's got to
quite.
be the first time you judged it. You're like, oh man, Mom, this isn't Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
no, but seriously though, if you think about it, I mean, even
What's the boring one? Like, remember Cheerios?
Kicks.
No, Cheerios.
not
Kicks
Kicks.
Kicks had sugar in it.
Yeah, that's
Cheerios.
kinda like Cheerios was just.
Well, it's kind of like
plain
it's
Jane.
kind of like what's it called? Not Raisin Bran, but it's like without all the raisins and stuff in it. It's like
cornflakes.
Special Cake or whatever.
Cornflakes?
Yeah, cornflake.
Yeah,
It might be cornflake. There's a plain one though that has no sugar.
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
Special K.
Special K. And that was my mother's favorite. And I remember going like, "Why don't you like, sugar?" And all
That's
this?
just-
She's because I like to put the fruit on, and I might sprinkle some sugar. And I'm like, "That's
It's a mom's cereal, honestly.
you think so?"
Oh, it's absolutely a mom's cereal.
Okay.
There's literally a meme for it and everything. I
I had no
was gonna-
idea. That was my mom. That's still my
Literally,
mom's
it's so
favorite
funny you
cereal.
said that.
I may have eaten some just last week.
Did you?
Yeah, man, they've got all kinds
But
of
I'm
different
not-
flavors now.
I like shredded mini wheats too. I mean,
Okay.
frosted.
What
Not
are y'all
the haze.
talking about?
I mean, frosted.
Those are disgusting. When there's options like,
I think it was strawberry cheesecake flavor.
fruity.
It was great.
Was it the Flintstone one? Was pretty good, but that got soggy real fast.
Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles got soggy real
Oh, I
fast.
See, I
That's-
like them when they're
I can't-
just a little bit soggy, just a little bit.
I can't do it.
Oh man,
I'm a crunchy guy. I need a
that's
little
one of
bit
the
of
best.
texture to me.
Yeah.
a little bit.
Raisin Bran's pretty boss.
Now, I literally, if I pour it, I got to push it down with the spoon a little bit to activate
my
all the
God.
juices
Oh
and
my
flavors.
God.
And I got to let it sit for just about a minute. If I just immediately start eating,
Oh, a minute. Oh, that would drive me nuts. I'm just gonna look
that's
at it like,
it's
oh,
like
yeah,
letting it
gotta go.
fester in the milk.
Let me just say this before we get off this topic, but Rice Krispie treat cereal, like the OG treat cereal, is the most underrated cereal of all time.
All right, duly noted.
Hold on, Rice Krispies.
No, Rice Krispie treats
cereal. See?
cereal.
Yeah, see? Yeah, treat cereal.
I don't know that I've had it. I've seen it.
Yeah, it's like clusters of actual Rice Krispie treats. Like
What?
As if there's not enough sugar in the regular one, they dump it in and
Okay.
put marshmallows
I had
and
no
mix it
idea.
around. Yeah.
I
had no
can't eat
idea.
Rice Krispie treat like the bars they actually make. I can't eat those because they're too like buttery and sweet. But like the cereal they made, underrated, so good.
I didn't even know that. I haven't touched
They stopped
cereal
selling like
so
3 years
long.
ago, so I was so mad.
Really? I mean, like, now I need to go get cereal. I bet it's like $10 a box now.
Dude, I went to Kroger's, it was like $6.99. I was like, ooh.
Well, how many meals is that for you? Like 3?
Literally, probably, if that.
Yeah.
Because I make big bowls of cereal, man.
Okay, yeah, because I'll never forget Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and in the beginning when he breaks up with his girlfriend,
Fruit Loops.
he had the Fruit Loops bowl, and I was like, "There's no way a man could eat that much Fruit Loops," but I wouldn't doubt it. But it's just kind of like the idea you have to eat it real fast because you have all the milk, and you're like, "All right, it can't get soggy." And except
It's a
for
good movie, by the way.
no, it's a great movie, but I was just thinking, I was like, "There's no way that someone could eat that much Fruit Pebbles that fast or Fruit Loops." But moving on to other food and stuff like that, because you go on site and you order, like when you pick something, is it more of, hey, you ask them what their specialty is?
Yeah, I try to do. I'm not like everybody else. I mean, I try to still eat what I like to eat and not just eat what their specials. I mean, because if I
No,
don't
dude,
like it,
some
I'm
of
not-
your plates have like 9 meals on it.
Well, yeah,
So
absolutely.
you can shove it with your like
It's impressive.
logic here. It's like, because I imagine, like, I always
It's the barbecue guys that spoil me the most, to be honest. I mean, those are the guys that really take care of me.
See, I was listening to it's like a financial podcast, and the guy goes, "My goal in my life is to make as much money as when I go to a restaurant. I don't worry about how much it costs to order what I want."
Yeah, it's true.
And I was thinking about that freedom, because you go to any, especially barbecue places,
They're pricey.
it can get pricey.
Yeah.
And like I remember, I went to Bar A BBQ.
Yeah.
And I was so hungry, I had to convince myself. I was like, I'm gonna order whatever I want, Doesn't matter about the price. I got a cookie. I got 2 meats. I got 2 sides, and I got something else to share with the table because I wanted to try it. Yeah. And I was like, but I know I'm not going to eat the whole thing. And I think I walked out of there for like $40-$50.
Yeah, no, I mean,
and I was just like, that's a lot of money, but it was so good.
See, I hear you say that, but I'm like, man, that's not really that bad, to be honest.
Because you go out a lot.
Oh yeah. I've spent $100 at most barbecue spots, or
Barbecue is expensive.
Are we just
it's
ignorant?
the price. It's the price of meat, and so I understand it. So but not every barbecue spot is the same. So I mean, they definitely are different tiers of barbecue. So
Well, yeah, I mean, especially there, it's not.
Bar obviously is top tier.
Well, yeah, but it's like for 2 meats, you're paying $20+ for 2 sides and 2 meats,
And that's so reasonable.
and that's very reasonable. And I think the $4 cookie is what really got me. I was like,
It's the
$4?
tallow cookie. So
Tallow chocolate
that
chip
his wife
cookie?
makes.
Oh, they're good. It was
Oh,
delicious. I was Andrew. You don't understand. Like I was sitting there going, like, I understand why people make money now,
With their
just
banana
so they can
pudding,
buy
you need to
stuff
try
like
it.
this. But yeah, how many places in Conroe do you think are like that? Because I have this thing with my cousin when I lived with him in Houston. We call it pixie dust restaurants because they cook their food with pixie dust, and somehow it's so good.
Yeah.
You don't know how they make it. You're like, how do they capture that flavor in that
Pixie
hamburger?
dust.
So we call it like because we would tell people they're like, hey, what's a good place? I was like, hey, Stuart, what's a good pixie restaurant? And they're like, oh, pixie dust. Let me think. Like what kind? Like
Let
taco?
me write that one down.
Like he is like, what you want tacos? Like there's a couple taco joints that have like really good pixie dust in it, and they're
It's kind of like unicorn farts and angel tears. Yours
Yeah.
was pixie dust.
well, it's a code word for like this was really
Really good. Yeah, I
and
get it.
and then, especially if you I eat like 3 different types of foods. Like I eat like tacos, pizza, and hamburgers.
Man.
So that's about it. That's my diet.
But we're
It's a modern renaissance, man. I tell you.
No, absolutely. I'm all for it. But we're definitely growing in Conroe. So I mean,
Oh,
we're,
yeah.
we're a lot of chain restaurants, which is completely fine. But go back 10 years, it wasn't like this. I mean, they go back further, it wasn't like this. So I mean, we got a couple spots here. I mean, as far as good spots, Cheddar's. You guys, for a chain restaurant, Cheddar's is
I
incredible.
know.
It's affordable.
I want to
It
say
is.
I've been there
It's
once.
affordable.
I want to say, but so one of my favorite stories when our son opened up Cafe Nong Pong.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I said that right.
Man, that was really close.
And he
Man,
has
I
if
tried
not,
it.
that's
I
what we're going to
always-
start calling it.
I always butcher it.
And he was telling me, he's like, oh, we're gonna have, is it Mommy sandwiches?
Yeah, mommy, yeah.
I've never had Mommy, right? Never. I had no idea what it is, and I was like, yeah, I'll try it. And I ate it. And he's like, what'd you think, man? And I go, to be honest, I never had one, so I don't know if that's good or bad. Like I ate it,
yeah.
and it was like I ate it.
It was
Yeah,
it was
right.
different taste, right?
It was
So,
totally different.
yeah.
And I was like, and I was like, it was good. Like I enjoyed it, but like I don't really know if it's
Is
bad.
that with a B or an M?
B.
Okay, not mommy sandwich. I was
Mommy.
thinking,
But it's-
I
but
was
it's
thinking
an
something
image.
like
Mommy?
with the '90s high-rise jeans and
Yeah,
stuff. What were you
it's a
talking
mommy.
about? Oh, okay,
mommy.
mommy. Okay, my bad.
But no, like that kind of stuff I try out once, and I'm like, but I can't judge it because I never had it anywhere
Yeah, no,
else.
so to go off anything else.
Because it's
yeah.
very rare that I like. If it had sardines, it's pretty much the food will not do because the crunch is what gets me. Texture gets me hard.
Okay, got you.
So like when I get
Man,
Andrew, why would you have to move your neck like that? Because we could have just rolled over that. I didn't mean to
I'm
say
trying
that.
my best to keep it together.
It's that
but he
pixie
just- he did
dust,
it too
man.
quick.
It's that pixie dust. But like
He
mushroom,
really likes that.
like I
food.
really like mushrooms, but certain
God, I
way-
love
wa-
mushrooms.
way they're cooked ruins it for me. Like on pizza, can't have mushrooms on my
Yeah,
pizza.
no, I can't.
But I can eat mushrooms on it. Like dry, like fresh.
So
really,
that is your favorite raw food, mushrooms.
oh yeah, mushrooms.
There
are
you go.
delicious. And
But that's a good question though. I mean, because what else would you eat that's like that? I mean, pineapples I can't eat on pizza, but I can eat pineapples. Like
Yeah.
Peanuts, nuts. I love nuts, but I don't like them on or in my food.
Absolutely. Same
I don't
way.
get it, but I will eat raw
you
nuts.
like nuts?
I love nuts, man.
I love it.
Yeah, cracked nuts, roasted nuts, just as long as they're nuts.
I tried to
love
get
it.
you back. I was trying to get him back.
Oh, I see where you were
yeah,
going.
Yeah, being dirty.
Yeah, no, I agree with
Hey,
you. on
at
mushrooms.
least I don't have the same reaction you do to mushrooms.
Well, I love mushrooms.
I know
Yeah,
you
I'm
do.
with you.
Well, not psychedelic.
All right, man, let's get
mushrooms.
into the food adjacent section of the show. Not quite food, but close.
Gotcha.
Were you aware, and are you sitting down? Are you sitting?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
you're
think
sitting.
I am.
Were you aware that Fruit Stripes bubblegum is being discontinued? Yeah, man.
Is
I
that
was
the
a
zebra one? The zebra on the
Yes,
front?
exactly. I remember the commercials.
I don't know everybody's age, but I know that was like something from like Toys R Us days. when I was a kid,
Absolutely,
so, I
yeah.
mean, it was.
Fruit
haven't
Stripes
I
gum.
haven't chewed gum. in like
R.I.P.
20
What
years.
is wrong with you? What is this? 20 years for
Well,
it
what-
cereal and gum?
Well, the only time I would ever chew gum was when I was like playing baseball.
Right.
and I don't play baseball
The
anymore.
big league chewing, it made you feel like
Yeah.
a baller.
No, I
Pulled
would
the
just,
shred. It always did make you feel like you were doing something wrong. You'd open that bag up and you're like, does mom know about this? Man, this is cool. And then the bubble gum you would get in the baseball cards. Man, you pretended that stuff was good, but it was terrible. Right? You pull that out and you chip a tooth on it
my theory,
as you're looking at Charles Barkley, All-Star
my
card.
theory
Yes,
on
this is
that-
great, crunch.
My theory on that is like the baseball card industry actually manufacturing is probably like a very suspicious business. Like where they get the cardboard, where they get all that stuff, and somehow like they bought a warehouse and like it's filled with bubble gum. Like what are we gonna do with
Just
all this
throw
bubble
it
gum?
in
Put it in the
Just
car.
put it in the
throw
car.
It's like it's been here
The
since the
kids will like it.
1950s.
Man.
Okay, I mean, were we gonna get in trouble? And man. But yeah, what scenario are you chewing bubble gum in?
But no, but
I chew gum on the way over here, man.
Yeah,
and then I spit it
Like
out.
maybe for like a mint,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not like Bubblicious.
Well, I'm not eating it. Like, God, I'm hungry. I need some gum. That's what you normally chew it for. It's like the mint flavor.
Bubblicious watermelon wave is hands
I know.
down the best gum of all time.
Yeah, but I know exactly what it is. I was literally going to say that flavor.
I'm a wintergreen guy.
I haven't had it in, I don't know, 20
Yeah,
years.
well, Fruit Stripes, no more. I heard that and thought, I'm going to ask Eddie if he's affected by that news.
No, I love Fruit Stripe, but the flavor was gone in 10 seconds.
Yeah,
too.
it's
I hated that, man. That was the worst thing about the
Well, it's a
gum.
marketing thing for kids, right? Because they chew it and they just spit it out and put another piece in, and then their mom
Right?
has to
The whole
purchase
pack's
more.
gone, and you get 5 a pack or something like that.
Yeah, it's like cigarettes.
All right, continuing on the food adjacent segment. We're in the circle of trust here, guys,
Yeah,
right?
of
Okay,
course.
I got to ask you guys.
We're
seriously.
at mushrooms and nuts. dude.
Seriously. All
got
right, we
it.
go from mushrooms, nuts. What's the largest amount of money you've ever eaten?
Like coins?
Yeah,
Like,
man. I don't mean
eat
like you
coin?
accidentally swallowed a nickel
Okay.
when you were a kid. Like you ever gobbled down on a 50 or something like that?
You mean like cash?
Yeah, man.
Actual cash.
Are you talking about eating food?
Eating food, yeah.
Oh, food.
Or-
okay.
No. Cash. Eating cash.
What are
Like,
you going?
like physical cash.
The only reason I bring it up is because I saw a story about a 100-pound Labradoodle that ate $4,000 in cash last week.
That's pretty awesome.
And I'm like, first of all, lots of questions here. Why the heck do these people have $4,000 of cash laying around? But this dog did. And
he probably works nights.
no, I think they sold something.
You know?
They took out cash to do a home improvement project and left the envelope on the countertop where their dog, Cecil, decided to eat it. Now, what do you think they did after that dog ate it?
Probably gave him some laxative.
That's exactly right. And they waited for him to
There's no way that
poo it
dog
out.
ate it whole.
So here's the thing, though.
I don't know what they
Well,
were
it
trying
chewed
to
it
do.
up, and some were chewed up, some were mixed in with the poo, right? But apparently they went to the bank and asked, what do we do in this scenario? And this is something interesting that I didn't know. As long as you're able to put the serial number back together,
They can still validate it.
they can validate it and give you a new bill. So they went in there and tried to put as many of those bills together. And they got like $2,400 back, pasted together from the 4,000 that he ate. But I was always told that like you just had to have 51% of a bill. But apparently that's not
Yeah.
it. You got to have the serial number.
Too many counterfeits.
So let me ask you: if your little Mitzi, your precious Mitzi, your poodle, I don't know what kind of dog you have, eats it, are you gonna sift through the poo to get that, or are you just gonna take the loss?
I mean, but that's $4,000.
$4,000,
To
man.
recoup half, recoup half is incredible, man. But I guess you gotta do what you gotta do. So
Well, it's a family activity.
Can you imagine walking in and be
yeah,
like,
right.
oh,
You throw a
'cause we're all
canvas
doing
over,
this,
throw the
absolutely.
canvas over the table.
Oh, this-
Get the dissolve it. Get
There's
the little
pictures. There's
There's
pictures
people
here.
that
I-
go through these things, and I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
you
there's no
get
way.
a little shaker like you're doing gold, and just
It's kind of interesting. There's a picture of it here. I put the link in the run sheet. You could see how it's just bits and pieces, and some of the
I didn't
bills
even pull
have.
up the run sheet. I was
have-
too excited to have Eddie in.
Oh, there it is. Aw, that's sweet. Are you a fan of white Smarties?
I'm not a fan of Smarties at all.
No, really.
I posted a.
He hates them.
Oh man, I posted something that I forgot a couple months ago. I think
Around
it was
Halloween time.
Yeah, Halloween time.
Yeah,
and,
I remember this.
People were just going nuts in my
I think it
comments
was
about
you.
Smarties.
It was
It's a
something.
tiered- a tiered
it was a
list.
tiered,
Yeah, yeah.
tiered list, and like at the bottom was like these got to go or something.
Yeah, and people were like, "What Smarties below the top tier list?" I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's not me. I can't do it."
I think I heard one time that they had to ban white Smarties because they were afraid that kids would get them confused with medicine, and so that's why they started making them different colors.
I mean, I guess I can get that. I guess.
I
mean, but
get. I don't know. It's probably an urban legend or urban myth. Are they different? Are they different flavors? Or are they all the same?
I too.
I don't know either.
When's the last time I had a bag of Smarties?
That's why you already said you don't like them. How about Necco wafers? Remember those little things that were like the
yeah,
like little.
you're naming of all the bad ones.
Yeah, well, it's because what's gotten popular these days are those sort of retro candy stores.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely.
And they specialize in getting candy back from like your childhood. And I walk in, I'm like, oh, all this stuff that was I used to think was amazing. I try it now.
Old
Kind
Town
of
Spring
mid.
has a
Old
Old Town
Town-
Spring has
yeah.
this place like that has a bunch of like
Yeah.
throwback candy.
So I'm
and
like,
stuff.
I want every candy cigarette you got in this place because I wasn't allowed to have them as a kid. I just stick them in my
yeah, right.
as many as I can get. It's a big league chew.
The big league shoe, I guess.
Sorry, Mom, I'm just kidding. We all know you supplied me with plenty of candy cigarettes.
Oh, hey, it's kind
She's
of
going to be so
funny.
mad at
Yeah.
me. Well, awesome, man. I know that you're a little short on time. Is there anything you wanted to cover before we had
We got
to
plenty
let
of
you
time.
leave?
He's got plenty of time. He said 4 o'clock. We got 8 minutes. Shut up.
Nah, you good. Ask
okay.
away, man. Ask away, man.
Hey,
That's what I'm here
well, I
for.
want to ask this because one thing I don't like is ordering DoorDash or anything like that. For some reason, every time I order DoorDash or Uber, something happens that like you either don't get your food or the food just it's like
Same, it's happened to me.
but it's like all the time.
Yeah.
And I know it's not the driver, and I don't know if it's the restaurant. I don't know if it's the process. I think it's the process.
Man, I think it's a little
And-
bit of both, to be honest. I think
because
it's really
now-
the drivers, to be honest.
It was like because when I think what I think happens is I'm the restaurant and I get a ticket, it's like, "Wing, wing, wing," and then you're like, oh, DoorDash, God, these people are just so lazy. Because I'll never forget having a conversation with the people from Pacific,
Okay, yeah.
and he was like, they don't want to do DoorDash. They were just he flat out goes, we don't want you to order food off DoorDash, and I was like, why is this guy telling people not to order their food? But then it hit me like, yeah, because the quality will never be as consistent as going into.
And I
the,
think that's what they get graded off of, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that people are saying, because unfortunately, when you're putting fries and like chicken tenders in a container, which they have incredible chicken tenders
Yeah.
and fries,
Sure.
it gets soggy and things like that. Your fries get rubbery, things like that. And you don't want that. Now, random, but I went to Mozo's over in the Conroe table the other day to burger joint, and they cut a slit on top of my container.
to keep the hot side hot,
And
the
the-
cold side cold. McDonald had it right all those years ago.
Literally, it was the best fries I've had in like the last 2 years. Not even lying.
Interesting. Got to let the steam
They
out.
were freshener. I
That,
mean,
and I do love that trend of the food trucks
Yeah.
because the variety hits you. Now, okay, you are, like we said, I want to put the link to your social media. You've been releasing these posts of your top 10 barbecue, top 10, burgers, all that kind of stuff. Do you like crawfish?
I do like crawfish. I mean, obviously, I like to eat, so like it's
So,
just a lot of work.
well, no,
You
because some
know?
people are like either I like crawfish or I hate them. It's
Yeah.
like there's no in between, and it's not like I like eating food that combines crawfish.
No,
and,
I'm a seafood guy, so I mean, I
So-
do like crawfish. I mean,
and
if
crawfish here is pretty aggressive.
yeah, well, it's very aggressive.
And my favorite joint is Best in Town.
Oh,
and
is
if-
it on Fraser or something? Where's it?
No, it's at some dude's
Someone's
house.
front yard.
It's someone's front yard, dude. It's
Oh, okay.
awesome. It's BYOB, and you just go there and we can order it by the pound, or you can order. They have like specials where you can order. I think it's like $40, and you get snow crab, shrimp, 2 pounds of
Oh, so
whatever.
you got the whole boil.
So you get the whole deal. I mean,
Okay.
it depends on if you're on a date or not. Like I just love going there because you can just hang out. There's dogs fornicating over here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's BY. You can bring your own
Vibes.
ice
That's what
chest.
makes it
Yeah,
legit,
vibes.
man. Yeah,
And,
vibes.
it's my kind of place, and shout out to those guys because every time we've gone there, it's been good.
I did get tagged in one of my posts to start doing like crawfish, ranking crawfish.
time
and
of
like
year.
that. So I mean, it is. Yeah, February's coming up. So
Yep.
But,
I did
yeah.
get asked from the Bayou Boys, their new food truck over on Lake 105. So they're next to Oscars and Grape Leaf, a bunch of new spots over there. So
Oh, wow.
they are a new crawfish joint that I need to check out. So I'm gonna try.
But
to
yeah,
do
crawfish
something.
is coming up, and I was kind of seeing what you're doing. I love following you guys. Again, that's Petty Eddie Eats. Just look them up on Instagram or Facebook. What's next? Are you just going to keep reviewing? You're just going to give
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna. I mean, review. My biggest thing is everywhere I go for food wise, I review it. So I mean,
Do you pay for it?
well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. So yeah, absolutely.
Unless they're giving it away.
Yeah, and again, some restaurants might throw in food and stuff like that because they know I'm there and they want a good review and things like that. So, but obviously, my biggest goal is I'm just big into the barbecue community. So I'm doing a lot of work with the guys over in Rosemeyer Barbecue, and then I mean, I just get out everywhere, man. To be honest,
But you really are, especially for your barbecue. I mean, you're in Houston,
Yeah.
South Houston, and then just all over the place.
Well, there's a lot of. I mean, to be honest, we don't have a huge presence of barbecue joints here. We have Bar A, we have Beckham's. It's a new joint now, and then I mean, we have Third Coast over on Sawdust, Oak Ridge area. So I mean, then past that, it's getting more into the Houston area. So there's a lot more joints out in Houston than there is.
Yeah, because there's some places I call retail barbecue, and then there's like barbecue. So like to me, Rudy's is like retail barbecue.
Yeah, chain barbecue. Yeah, it's like Dickies and things like that.
Well, you got retail makes it sound just
No, yeah, I like it better. Yeah, retail. Yeah, I remember that one.
yeah. It's just
Retail barbecue.
It's what you expect because you know what you're going to get.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and it's just trash. And
Nah, it's not bad. Someone's not bad.
no, ironically, Kurt, our buddy, our mutual friend, big barbecue guy, loves cooking. He's probably the one person I know who can cook the best brisket I've ever had. He likes Rudy's. I was like, how the hell do you like Rudy's when you can cook this delicious brisket? And he's like, it's good, man. Why you bitching?
They
all
have
the time?
great breakfast tacos. I will say that.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they have great breakfast.
Yeah,
tacos.
they do.
Okay. Well, again, follow you on social media, and you're gonna be reviewing food, and you like people tagging you. You like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, tag me any joints you guys have. I mean, like I said, I try to be engaged as much as I can
So
on social media.
I'm gonna ride your coattails.
Ride it.
Okay, and I just came up with this right now. I promise.
Oh boy,
right?
I love.
I'm-
And now it's half-cocked ideas with Dick.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna review the bathrooms after Petty Eddie eats there. So that's what I'll do. As I'll go into the bathroom,
I'm so glad that we waited another few minutes to get that.
and my hashtag is what Petty Eddie ate.
Yeah, right. Hey, there you go.
What? Past
What,
tense?
yeah, what Petty?
I would make just because. Of,
No calendar of that, though.
Okay, I know. It's just I know. I think. Well, that's one thing I love about your food because it looks so good all the time, and I get pissed that you get to eat all of it. And
no, I mean, like I said, everybody says I don't. Like I said, people think I eat a ton of food. I mean, I also take a lot.
have
of
you
it
not
home.
seen your barbecue orders?
I know exactly. I take a lot of it home, obviously, because with my medical things,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Why
I
don't?
fly
Yeah.
in.
You know what? See, that would be a good top 10 list. Is reheat or like
Best foods to be reheated. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
because that's a big deal, especially for
I
pizzas.
thought you were
and-
going to say hospital foods. I'm like, man, I'm all about it. Let me yeah, I'm all about the hospital foods, man.
That's true, man. Especially if you get to know the chefs, because I've had family in
I know people
hospitals.
delivering the food to me, so I mean that's about all I got.
Yeah,
Maybe
true.
he'll come up to my room. That might be a good
Yeah,
idea.
can I please speak to the chef, please?
You see, that might be a good. I mean,
I
that
think
might
it'd be good.
That might be a good segment, to be honest.
And there's plenty of hospitals around here.
Dude, I'm
But I
not
like
opposed.
the reheat is a good idea because there's certain foods that are not good, and especially like restaurants, the way they prep it and stuff.
No,
It's like-
absolutely. I know.
it's not great.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
But one thing I do want to clear up, I really like Mr. Taco. That was just like a one-off. I'll eat there every day of my life if I could.
I guess I haven't tried it. I want to try it. I guess.
Okay. This is my critique of it, and this is the reason why I like it. And it's not for everybody, right? I like their Mariachi street tacos.
Okay.
And it's just street tacos, but it comes with avocado and cheese, and it's all flat price, so you can choose what kind of meat and everything. I like that because sometimes when you go to taco joints,
They'll charge you.
they'll charge you like $1.50 for avocado, and then a
Avocado's
dollar
cheap,
for
man.
dollar for cheese on a street taco. So that each street taco is like $4, $5.
Right.
This is $15 for 5, and you get to choose whatever meat you want on it. And I love it because it's just easy, and I'm like, it gets everything I want on it, and we're good to go.
I'm about to jot that one down.
So that's,
There you go.
that's my favorite. What about you, Andrew? What's your favorite? Do you
Uh,
even eat food besides cereal?
yeah, it's honeycomb because they're big. Yeah. They're not small. No.
You eat fresh honeycomb?
Yeah, that's it. No, the cereal, man.
He wakes up in the morning, puts his net on. He's like, I got to get my fresh cut.
Before I go, though, I do
Yeah.
want to ask you, what did you think about your Chicago dog?
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of tomatoes. I started to pick them off, and I said, no. When in Rome,
you
you got to do it.
serious?
So it's just like raw tomato. I like it when it's in salsa and things and cooked. I'll eat it all day, but
exactly the
just
same
by
way.
itself.
Yeah.
But I did it, and it wasn't bad, man. In fact, I liked it a lot. The poppy seed bun, that threw me off a little bit, but the peppers were money.
Yeah, the spears.
Sport peppers or whatever they're
yeah.
called.
How many spears do they put in it?
Of the peppers?
No, the pickle.
One large pickle spear, 2 or 3 peppers, 2 small slices
Okay.
of tomato, partridge in a pear tree.
Because I've had one where they
Mustard.
they put like 2 spears in it, and the thing is as wide as like a Mack truck, and you're
Yeah.
like, how am I supposed
Yeah,
to?
no, 1 spear. It was a cube.
Yeah,
I
see,
mean, a quarter.
I
quarter
know
pickle.
you got to go, Eddie, but also
you're-
I want to ask this because you've eaten a lot of different foods. What's the deal with restaurants making foods bigger than your mouth?
Like,
I mean, most food is. That's why you
Well,
chew
no,
it
like-
a bite at a time.
No, like
As
you,
far as like burgers and stuff
like
that.
burgers, or I mean, there's different. Hey,
you
like
know,
hot dogs.
All pizzas are bigger than your mouth. You still eat them.
Yeah, it's true.
But I'm talking about
That you can't fit something
like
in.
tacos
Yeah, I got it,
is a
yeah.
big deal to me. I'm like, man, why would I eat this whole like? How do I like? Especially when they layer it.
I got a
I
segment
never
for you.
understood the layer thing.
Best foods to eat while driving.
Oh.
That ought to be another one too, because I'll go to a restaurant, drive through with my
just
family,
get-
and what I want to get, I can't because I'm driving. I'm like, I just get something that I can eat while driving, and it's always a taco or something.
Jack in the Box tacos.
Yeah. Oh man, those
But
are
you understand, like, why are tacos layered like that?
I'm not.
It pisses me
the
off.
best fake taco there is the Jack in the Box
Like
taco.
if you get a hard taco, you know how it's layered. Mm-hmm. Hate that. I'm like, can you just mix it all together so I can every
Well,
bite
that's-
has
No,
the
I see what
same?
you're saying. For sure.
Maybe more like a rolled soft taco might be that way, but yeah, regular crunchy's going to be
Yeah,
layered, man.
it's terrible.
Taco Bell, like the hard tacos are just a mess. So.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of Taco Bell. I mean,
well, I like going to
I am too.
Angie's. So I like going to Angie's over here. You ever been to Angie's?
they're good too. Yeah.
It's delicious. And what I like to do for lunch, they have a thing. They have 2 monster tacos. So I get the 2 monster tacos, and they're hard shell, and then I order a side of tortillas, and I get the rice, beans, and everything left over, and I put it all.
You're a calculated eater, very detailed.
Oh, do you just see my waffle? You just see my Waffle House order, and then so I get, and they have this delicious red, green hot sauce, and so I dump it in the mixture, and I put it on my flour tortilla, and then I put my monster taco on top of it, and I wrap it with the soft taco.
Before I go, because now you said Waffle House, I need to get everybody's order. Do you eat Waffle House?
Yeah, dude.
I haven't in a long time.
Okay, so you don't have an order though, then, right?
No,
Okay,
no.
So what's your order? at
Mine's an
Waffle House?
all American. I get double hash browns, scattered, country covered, and peppered, and then I sub out the toast for
Oh my
biscuit.
God.
I sub out
This is a thing.
I sub out the toast for the biscuit, move the country gravy over to my biscuit, and I get scrambled eggs, and I get a waffle with peanut butter chips, and I ask them to put a bowl over it when they deliver it, and so it melts the chips
So
better.
we need to make a Waffle House run because that is the most detailed order I've ever. I'm
And-
thinking that my order is somewhat detailed. It's just
Dude,
not even detailed.
yeah,
even remotely.
when I find a place, I'm there, and I was like, I gotta, because I remember when I realized that you can get country on your hash browns, which is just sausage gravy. It's like $1.
It's the best breakfast 24-hour spot.
Yeah.
And
Oh, I like it. I've been several. I don't know that I've been enough to have an order, so to speak.
yeah,
Oh no, I definitely have.
and I think it usually comes out to like $14.50, and it's 2 meals for me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Nice.
easily.
And
Nice.
Their
it's-
prices are never consistent, by the way. I just so
No, it's
everybody
weird.
knows.
It's like gas. It's like goes up, goes down. It's crazy.
I've been eating there for 15 plus years. I've never paid a consistent price. I get an all-star special the same way every time, and it's always fluctuated from like $9.58 to like $13. Why that is, couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but yeah, you got to get peppered, covered, and country.
Okay.
It's so
That's
detailed.
cheese. That's cheese, jalapenos, and scatter's the way to go because
Yes.
you get the crunch consistency. Because sometimes it depends on the cook. They're gonna like leave the middle just so thick if it's like half cooked hash browns. It's
Nah,
just
I'm with
not-
you.
I love it, man. I love it. I mean, Angie's the bomb. I love that place. That's about it. Yeah, Mr. Taco's I like the drinks at Mr. Taco. They have those jars, those clay jars.
Oh, okay. Oh, so
It's
they
like
do those type of
Canneritas,
drinks.
Canneritos or something
That's
like
like
that.
authentic.
Dude, it's so sugary and it's really, I don't like margaritas, ironically, and I'm like I'd rather have this than a margarita, and it's so good. So,
Interesting.
I
I'll
love
have
Mr.
to- I'll have to
Taco,
write that one down.
and yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. I love it. Thank you
Awesome.
so much.
Thanks for joining us, man. I
appreciate
know
it,
that you got to run. I'm glad you stayed a few more minutes. Actually, stayed another 10 minutes or so after I thought you had to
That-
leave.
that
So
was-
I appreciate it.
That's what I do to everybody.
Well, I thought he had to leave. So
even the women in my life.
I appreciate it. And we're going to come right back and do a few more minutes of the show. So, onesie, stay tuned. But make sure to check out all of the links to Petty Eddie's social media sites. Petty, thanks for joining us, bud.
I appreciate it, fellas. Thank you, guys.
Audience of One, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. right here on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5. Listen to the brain droppings of local hosts, me, Andrew Belshner, along with the jewel of Montgomery County radio, Dick Schisler. Topical musings, news stories, oddities, or just weird conversations that we normally have with ourselves, all mixed together with the occasional guest. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts.
Welcome back to Audience of One Show, your Wednesday 10 a.m. favorite morning show. It's released on podcasts and also Lone Star Community Radio's Facebook and YouTube. Make sure to look up Audience of One Show on irlonestar.com and the internet. We're also on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and we are a nonprofit, so feel free to donate. Our sponsor, and we got our first donation a couple weeks ago from a listener.
We did, yes, absolutely. Feel free to keep the donations coming.
Yeah, it's
now
nice.
Dick will be able to eat this week.
It does really help. I love getting donations because primarily we do sponsorships, and those are like kind of pledges, kind of like any nonprofit. But donations are basically a fan saying we like you.
Yep, that's pretty much what it is.
I love it,
and a good way to hide your money. That's what we've always said. No, we're joking, but it is a tax write-off.
Hide your money in the Lone Star. But Petty Eddie, that was
he was
great,
awesome. Yeah,
did not disappoint, and one thing I realized I was doing in my mind was wanting to be what he's doing. And I'm like,
you're like, this is what I want to do when I grow up.
No, it's more of like, I keep you think of ideas. Let me tell this food blogger what to do. Let me tell him what to do. Let me tell this idea is so much better than yours. And I didn't like it where it was going. So I'm going to let him, set his own sail. And I'm just going to watch from afar. I do like my restroom idea. I think that'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
And
I'm not so sure he liked it all that much.
Oh,
but
no.
No.
I think see what's great about that kind of parody account is somebody down the line won't think it's a parody account.
Eventually,
and what I want is someone to ask him, is like, does this guy follow you to the restaurant? What's going on with that? But big shout out to him. And again, the links to his social media are below. And make sure to follow him. It's Petty Eddie Eats. Just look that up. It's kind of easy to find if you find pictures of beautiful food.
He does get the good side of that hamburger. For sure, in his pictures. He makes them all look so juicy.
I wonder what he's, probably what his scam is.
Scam.
His scam is he takes these great pictures at restaurants, and then they contact him, and they're like, hey, man, can we use those photos? $5,000.
That's right. Holds them for ransom.
$5,000 to use these photos. And no more, no less. $5,000. And, oh, man, code enforcement's outside.
Uh-oh. So I wanted to bring this up while he was in, but we didn't have enough time. Have you heard of the restaurant Pasquale's?
No.
Okay, this is pretty interesting. So apparently during COVID, a lot of restaurants were trying to reinvent themselves because nobody could come into their restaurant, and they started selling things online, selling their food online, doing online orders where they never did before. One of those places was Pasquale's Pizza. Well, as it turns out, Pasquale's was not a real restaurant. It was Chuck E. Cheese, and they rebranded themselves during COVID to sell food online. There was actually a Pasquales.com.
Yeah, I think.
Isn't that crazy?
No, I want to say I read, and I don't know if it's that specific, where it was like a living restaurant. Like, the way I'm trying to put it is basically this restaurant was equipped to cook anything, and their main dish was something you had to eat there. And so they literally they said, like, yeah, we'll just make burgers. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't make burgers, and they'll just make burgers. And it wasn't, they didn't use their brand, though. They did
it's a different brand. And this says here, the Chuck E. Cheese representative told Business Insider that Pasquale's Pizza and Wings is a new delivery-only premium pizza brand operating from Chuck E. Cheese kitchens. But it was the same stuff. Isn't that hilarious?
Wasn't there a guy?
Wouldn't you be super upset, though, when you got your box of Pasquale's just to find out that it's been Chuck E. Cheese this whole time?
I think it's hilarious.
It is. Yeah, it would be funny, though.
But wasn't there a guy who went on Uber Eats and sold food from his house?
Probably.
Like he was making,
it's kind of like ghost kitchens to a degree.
Yeah, he's like making Hot Pockets, but he would do like what Petty Eddie does so well is take beautiful photos of the food, and he would make it like he'd add a sauce to it, and so it'd be like
jazz it all up.
Yeah,
but in the end, it's really just a Hot Pocket.
It's just a Hot Pocket. I could have sworn it was like somewhere in the UK or something like that. Like that's what the guy did because he was bored. And he just wanted to see if he could get away with it.
And he probably made money hand over fist, right?
So, because I do know there's a true story in the UK where a guy created a restaurant in his backyard, and it was called like Single Table. And he hyped it up to be like the most premier restaurant because there's only one table.
Extremely exclusive.
And he, like, I think what he was doing was making a joke on Yelp. And so he like paid people to go on Yelp and talk about so he got like 5 stars, and he took pictures in the backyard like it's just one table.
It's a wait list,
and there's
a mile long.
Like it became like
thing.
A thing where people thought it was legit, where people were booking.
Now, how big was this table? Could you seat
No,
four
it was just two
or
people.
just two people? That's it. So it was 2 people max.
And, like, he was like, "Yeah, I was outside and I saw this
So
table.
awkward,
So
though.
I put a cloth over it and put some,
awesome.
And he just like, and the food. I forgot what he said. What he did for the food because he actually served people.
I mean, yeah, you'd have to, I suppose,
And
to keep the bit going.
yeah, and he was just like, it was just normal food from down the street. Or
And then
something.
it probably became a thing where people wanted to go. They knew the bit, but they just wanted to take their picture and put it on social media
Yeah.
that they went to this
Well,
one restaurant.
I think that's how it works, man.
That's kind of an audience of one moment
I mean,
right
it's
there.
like Petty Eddie's a central worker. He's spreading the good news of good food around Montgomery County, which I think
Suppose
that's
so.
great. And it makes me one thing he does. He makes me want to try different things. And I know I have like my routine stuff. Like I said, like I like Mr. Taco. I go to Mr. Taco every day.
Mm-hmm.
And but then it's like we got to try some stuff, especially being the new single guy.
Right.
It's like I got to come up with good ideas.
Can only eat so many mushrooms.
So
right.
yeah, I mean, man,
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
I really say that?
You sure did, sir.
Okay.
If it wasn't mushrooms, it was something else. I thought you said
we got to
mushrooms.
rewind that.
Yeah. Woo, buddy.
You gotta look at yourself. I'm glad you're doing the show with me, and I'm doing the show with you because that was great. I didn't even notice I said it until you gave me that look. I'm like, did I do it again? I did it again, didn't I? Oops. So, but yeah, COVID-19. We didn't really talk about that with Eddie.
No, and how
I
that
mean,
affected his type of business. I mean, that had to have killed bloggers, food bloggers, restaurateurs. I guess it became all take home at that
Well,
point.
yeah, we could
right?
talk about the terrible take-home food that you get.
Yeah.
And that was the joke over on Monday, the freeze. I think it was somebody on I Love Conroe posted like if they had like a 4x4, they could have made a killing on
Pulling people out.
on Uber Eats
Oh, right.
because
Yeah.
they could deliver food.
Food. Yeah, that's
And,
true. That's true.
But I was thinking to myself like, what restaurants are open? And what's amazing, we went. It was Tuesday. We went to Walk-Ons because it's a brand new restaurant. Never
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
been there, never heard of it.
I hadn't
Apparently, it's
either,
like
but-
Peyton Manning or something started it.
Yeah,
or-
I hear a lot of great things about it. though.
yeah. And so we went
Good
there.
food?
It was closed till 4 o'clock, and I was like, "Huh, that's
okay.
weird."
Weird.
And they're like, "What do we do?" And then I'm been craving wings this week. That's what I wanted to do for the football game on Sunday. I was like, "Let's make wings and have different wing sauces. It's gonna be so good." And then Kurt's like, "No, I don't want to do that. We're gonna go to Buffalo Wild Wings so you can get your wings." And I was like, "Gross," but okay. Well, the reason I'm telling you the story is we get there, and it was fairly packed. And one thing I kept overhearing everybody, Walk-Ons was closed, so we came here.
Oh,
And
wow. So
I've-
it's got to be
I
hurting
heard
their
it-
business.
I'm not kidding. I heard it at least 4 times from different people at the bar.
I've heard the food's
Yeah.
really good. Never been there. Don't know
And,
anything about it other than, hey, the Walk-Ons is open last month, this, that, and the other. We got to go try it, blah, blah, blah. So maybe I'll have to try it soon.
Yeah.
Switching gears here at the end of the show, did you hear the news what the federal government is doing, Dick? I know that we talked about the Zipper RF reader a few months ago where you could, hook it up to a road sign and make it say something inappropriate. Well, the government has now said, we're giving you 2 years and we're no longer going to allow the funny digital road signs anymore. These are the ones that say, like, not just click it or ticket, but they'll have the little funny sayings to get your attention about not drinking and driving or not speeding or anything like. You've seen these before? They're the digital road signs. No.
Well, I mean, I've seen temporary road signs kind of just reminding people, hey, XYZ, like parking for the fares this way. And then it might say click it or ticket.
Yeah. Well, so like an example here in
But they're
Pencil-
temporary. They're not.
Yeah. They're
And there's
just,
a couple in Houston that are permanent, but it's more telling you like how long does it take to get through 59.
yeah. So this from New Jersey. It'll say hocus pocus, drive with focus.
Okay.
In Pennsylvania, don't drive star spangled hammered. Those kind of
That's
things.
kind of fun.
Yeah, I like it too because it's different than
But
what
what
you're
are they
gonna
getting
see.
rid of? They're getting rid of the sign?
They're no longer going to allow funny sayings on
The
those
federal
signs.
government.
The federal government passed this last week.
So when does
What
the
the
federal
heck? What is the?
when does the federal government have authority over comedy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, over comedy. But yeah, man. So apparently they said that they all signs should be simple, direct, brief, legible, and clear, and can only be used for important information such as warning drivers of crashes ahead, etc.,
Because
etc.
they want to keep us stupid.
Well, they said it can be that the sayings can be misunderstood or distracting to drivers. And I'm thinking to myself, distracted? I mean, we have enough things to distract us. I don't think that sign is going to do much of it, right? As people are staring at their social media and phones driving 75 miles
have
an
you
hour.
been in a Tesla?
Yeah, it's the whole thing's one large screen.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The little sign says "Slow down, don't be Charlie Brown" is not going to, whatever that means, is not going to distract me that much.
Don't have a Charlie Brown. No,
Yeah.
I
And my thought is too. Hold on. Is if it's that dangerous, why aren't they just banning it like next week? No, 2 years. You have 2 more years to get all your funnies out. It just doesn't make any sense.
What's
to
weird to me about it is I understand the 2 years because there's probably some stupid bureaucratic rule where like you
Right.
can't do anything fast.
Right.
And another thing is what I like is some guy or girl. I'm not sexist when it comes to stupid ideas. Is in the boardroom or whatever the meeting, and one guy who just is so much fun at parties goes, "Hey, you know what? I've noticed there is a study about 20% of focus on these signs have caused accidents, and accordingly to my results, if we get rid of them, we could save one life."
Yeah. The pencil pusher.
And they're like, "Come on, John, can you shut
Shut
up?"
up, dude. But now they brought it up. It's on record somewhere, and then they got to adhere to it.
I bet you can't even say have a safe drive.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to be allowed unless it's probably a federally, like a federal government-funded program, like Click It or Ticket is probably about as funny as you're going to get.
What is it? Vaping, still smoking? Is that another?
I don't think that's one of them.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I think
So funny no more.
that's terrible.
I thought so too, because they made my drive worthwhile.
Did they?
Yeah, I suppose.
I just think it's kind of funny where they're like, we don't want to distract drivers. And I'm thinking there's millions of other things
I know.
that will be distracting.
Really, yeah, like that's going to do it.
Yeah.
Anyways, our quick hit here at
Especially it's like in your eyesight.
Yeah, exactly. If you're looking up, it's basically on the road for crying out loud. Oh, well. Quick hit here at the end of the show from MSN. New satellite images show that the eastern part of the United States coast is sinking faster than they normally thought it was. And I'm thinking, wait, we already knew it was sinking. But yes, apparently every year the New York City coastline, because of, I guess, all the weight of the roads and the cars and the buildings, compresses at a rate of 0.06 inches annually. They revised that up to 0.08 inches a year. Kind of freaky to think about. If you're living in New York City or any big city like that probably Houston to that degree. I know that after Harvey, all that water came through.
Is this one of
and
those
the weight
things,
of the water compressed the
is
ground
this
and
one of
it
those
sank.
things where they like the smart people figured out the sun's going to go out, but then they kind of tell you this number and you're like, well, does that really affect us? Well, no, it's gonna blow up. Like the sun's gonna go out.
Yeah.
No, I get it, but like when? Like a billion years?
When will then be now?
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, so what do we do with that number? You're telling me 0.08 inches a year?
Yeah, 0.08 inches. That sounds like hardly anything, but when you think about it, year over year, compounded annually, along with the rising oceans due to global warming, right? It's gonna be underwater within our lifetimes, Nick, is what I'm telling you.
No way, that'd be wild.
That would be kind of weird, though. Would be kind of weird. But I didn't realize it was sinking at that rate. I mean, I have heard, again, of these scenarios of the land's always changing and this and that and the other, especially in very dense urban areas. But
somehow
0.08 inches
somehow
a year.
the Grand Canyon got there. I mean,
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Apparently there's a river there. So
That's what they say.
It's been slowly digging.
It's what they say. I don't know if you believe it or not.
That's
so
where the giant
stay
monsters
away
hide.
from New York. Or actually, no, visit New York now as soon as you can because it may not be there for very much longer.
Well, no, what you do is you get people dumbfounded. You go over there with a ruler and you start measuring the whole place. Because I wonder how they made that study. It's like, there's that place is huge.
Like anybody could really even test this. Come on. Do you believe it?
I mean, maybe it's not sinking. Maybe the water is just getting higher.
Yeah, or maybe they're getting shorter. You ever thought about that? You get shorter as you age, you know.
Idiots.
Yeah. That's all I got, man, for this week. That's all I got.
Good.
Yeah, that was fun. A little bit different change of pace next week. I'm not sure what's in store. We may or may not have another not short guest, but a guest for a short period of time. Not sure.
Why would you say that about Petty Eddie?
His last name is shorter.
I know.
So
I still don't believe that's his last name.
yeah, I'm like, not so sure.
But shout out to that guy for taking his time coming in, and I appreciate his patience with us.
Oh, one last thing before we leave. The Beer Mile. The Kickstarter made their funding level, and they are going to be able to make the movie.
That's great.
Yes.
Hey, guys, don't waste that money on beer. Idiots.
Yeah, listen to Dick.
Yeah. I want some beer, dude. That sounds good today. Thank you so much for tuning in to Audience of One. Don't forget to look us up on all your podcasting devices. It's Audience of One Show. Lone Star Community Radio is a nonprofit radio station, TV station, whatever we going to call us, in the Montgomery County area. We love sponsors. We love donations. Just go to visit irlonestar.com. And Andrew, it's so lovely to see you. I'm glad you're home safe. I always worry when you're traveling in a foreign land, and I have to somehow
Chicago, dude.
fight my way back or fight my way to you to save you and bring you back home. I'm okay with that. If it needs to happen, I'll walk there. It's going to be a great tale to tell people how useless my friend Andrew was, and I had to go in there and save him.
Well, you really spun that weird there at the end, but thank you, I think.
Bye.
Bye, guys.